for the Revolutionaries in their points chase to Richmond. As the Spiders enter today in first place, George Washington was in second. Obviously, that's a timed trial, so they'll calculate all the times from the prior heats and give you that full point distribution. All right, now we switch over to the men's 1650-yard freestyle. We have last year's reigning champ and reigning runner-up in this event, Dylan Felt, back in the pool, Daniel Choi as well. Back to Tom Gill.
From George Mason University, Alex Crown. In lane 1, from St. Bonaventure University, Mateus Rinaldi. In lane 7, from St. Louis University, Kyle Algrim. In lane 2, from St. Bonaventure University, Johnny Edwards. In lane 6, from Davidson College, Henry Shoemaker. In lane 3, from George Washington University, Daniel Choi. In lane 5, from Davidson College, the defending champion and record holder, Dylan Felt. And in lane 4, your top seed tonight, the freshman from Fordham University, Quinn McPhail. Event 29, men's 1650-yard freestyle, heat 3 of 3 time final. Here we go again. Another 1650 of drama and excitement. Taking a look at the players in the field right now. You got a freshman in 1. Johnny Edwards, St. Bonaventure in 2, was 5th in this event last year. Daniel Choi, the junior from George Washington University, was 2nd in this event last year. Quinn McPhail, Fordham University freshman. Dylan Felt, Mr. Distance Freestyle himself. He is the defending champion record holder. He won the 500 and 200 freestyle already this weekend. Henry Shoemaker, a freshman from Davidson College, hoping some of that rubs off there from lane 5. Kyle Algrim, St. Louis University, the sophomores in 7, and again, George Mason University's Alex Crown in 8. He was 4th in this event last year. Felt set this record back in 2024, just like Topolewski. Let's see if he can get after his record. Where will McPhail come in to play? The record, 14:55.89. 15:06.60 is the D1 NCAA swim cut. If you get past that and you win your conference championship, you head to the NCAAs. McPhail so far this weekend, 5th in the 500 free, 5th in the 400 IM. So he knows all about racing. This freshman's having a great first campaign here at the 2026 Atlantic 10 Swimming and Diving Championships. Coming up on the 300 mark. Get you up to speed with what's going on in the pool, even though you're watching it in the stands or from home. 243.32 for McPhail, 243.37 for Choi. Felt 244.30, cruising along. He's a back half swimmer kind of guy. Choi last year was a 15.20. Coming up on the 400 mark. McPhail, big catch-up stroke there in lane 4, as does Choi from George Washington in lane 3. McPhail from Fordham. Third place right now, Alex Crown, George Mason. He's up in lane 8. Fourth place, Shoemaker. Felt still in 5th. $27.58 for McPhail, $27.68 for Choi, $27.89 for Crown. Felt $28.22, falling off the mark just a bit. Here we come to the 500 split. McPhail and Choi stroke for stroke. Choi hits it first, 433.80. 433.88 for McPhail. 435 for Crown. Up there in 8, he continues to hold on to third place. $27.5, $27.7, $27.6 for Shoemaker. He's moving up to the $27.7 for Crown on that one. Shoemaker's in the mix there. The other Davidson product in this top 8 tonight. Top 8 if they beat the top time coming in. What was that, you might ask? That was Davis Moore from Davidson College as well. He went a 15:41.24, so that's the time to beat. Choi, 27.48, 27.69 for McPhail. Third place is now Shoemaker. He's at 27.67. Daniel Choi, George Washington, 27.68. He's going to be coming up on the 7:50 mark. Let's see where he sits versus his time from last year. Choi makes the turn, 6:51.60. He was at 6:57.66. He's moving. He was 27 highs, 28 lows. Mostly 27 highs, but he's been sitting 27 low here. That makes a difference in this 1650. Making the turn, 27.92 back up, 27.76 for McPhail, 27.58 for Shoemaker. He's not out of this at all. He's starting to feel it. Crown not going away either. He's all the way up in 8 from George Mason. Turning together, 1100ths apart, Choi and McPhail. Choi holding on 27.94, 27.63 for McPhail. Shoemaker sitting on their feet. Crown sitting on Shoemaker's feet, but he starts to slightly fall off the pace. 28.08 for Choi, 27.58 for McPhail, 27.68 for Shoemaker. 28.05 for Crown. Got to get that down into the 27s to stay with these gentlemen in lane 3, 4, and 6. What a battle we've got to brew it in lane 3 and 4. And 6 not going away. Here we go. McPhail takes over the lead, 27.83 to a 27.90. Look at Shoemaker there. That's a 27.65. Faster than both of them. McPhail was your early leader. He's looking strong now, popping himself up off the left arm and driving with the right. 27.71, 27.90 for Choi, 27.81 for Shoemaker. Crown now 2 body lengths off. Shoemaker holding 28 lows, very respectable, but it's not going to win him this championship. Choi now on McPhail's hip. The freshman 27.78, 27.86 for Choi, 27.78, 9:39.86.
About 20 more lengths to go between our top heat and our men's 1650-yard freestyle. We'll step aside for the Hampton Aquaplex and come back for the finish right after this.
McPhail continues to lead, but Choi comes back on him. 27.94 for McPhail, 27.90, 27.94 for Shoemaker. Lanes 3, 4, 6. 4 in the lead, 28.16 though for McPhail, 27.78 for Choi. Shoemaker, 28.08 on that 50. They've separated from the field. Shoemaker ever so slightly starting to fall off as these two gentlemen in the middle look right at each other as they go down the pool. 27.82, 27.86, 27.90. The only 27s in the pool, lanes 3, 4, and 6. Here we go, the 12:50 mark coming up. When they make the turn here, that'll be 12:50 of 16:50. They'll have 400 left. 11:30.59 for McPhail. He takes the lead. Looking back at Choi last year, he was at 11:36.74 at this point. He went 15.
Less than 15 lengths to go in our top heat of the men's 1650-yard freestyle. A great race to get us going on the men's side of the competition. We send it back to Tom Gill to get it to the finish line.
Shoemaker on that 50. He found a little pop in his step. Shoemaker swimming in somewhat clean water, if you want to call it that. He's got guys next to him. Now it's Choi taking back the lead. 28.01 to McPhail's 28.45. 27.77 for Shoemaker. He holds 27s from here on out. Who knows what's going to happen? He's feeling it. Shoemaker, the freshman. McPhail, the freshman. Choi, the junior. We have ourselves a race in the 1650 at the Atlantic 10s. 8 entered, 3 have a shot at the crown right now. The crowd's going wild. The team urging their swimmers forward. Choi with all that experience as a junior. Could that be the difference? He's 27.86. Shoemaker 27.65. McPhail falls off ever so slightly with a 28.11. Oh my goodness, and Shoemaker's starting to take over the lead. He's going to turn first on that far wall. We're coming up to the 1,500 mark. They hit this wall, they'll have 150 left. They'll bring the bell out with just a 50 left. In first place, Shoemaker of Davidson. He went a 27.8. Choi went a 27.7. McPhail now back at their feet. He's done everything he can do. He's going to have to find a new gear to get back up with Choi and Shoemaker. Choi and Shoemaker coming to the start and breathing away from each other. Shoemaker's now in the lead. 27.05, 27.52 for Choi. Shoemaker's got just a little more of a big kick. Choi picks it up. Those signs about to go in the water, they're so fired up. And Choi starts to come back. He ain't giving this up without a fight. There's the bell lap. It's a dead heat, 14.44.83 to 14.4.88. Choi with a 26 high on that. Shoemaker takes off on this 25. They still turn together. Place is going crazy. Shoemaker, Choi, 25 for a 1650 championship. I liken Shoemaker, the freshman. He does it. 15.09.61. There's a new sheriff at Davidson in the distance world, and his name, ladies and gentlemen, is Henry Shoemaker. He takes first. Daniel Choi. George Washington, what a great swim for the junior. He's in second. McPhail in third. Comes in with a 15.13.65 lifetime best all the way around. What a race.
Well, what a performance in the pool for Henry Shoemaker. The freshman from Davidson wins it. He ousts Daniel Choi of George Washington, who was last year's runner-up. He finds himself in the same position from a year ago, but this one was as electric as they come in the 1650-yard freestyle. Only about 0.4 of a second was the difference between our first and second place finisher. Quinn McPhail got third, so 2 of the top 3 finishers are freshmen in the men's 1650-yard freestyle. And although it was not Dylan Felt, it is a Davidson Wildcat that does take that top time as Dylan Felt falls out of the podium, but it does seem like that Davidson has still a great future in terms of the 1650-yard freestyle for years to come. All right, so the mile is done for the women, the mile is done for the men, and now we go back into more of the shorter races to get us going here on this Saturday. It's the women's 200-yard backstroke consolation final to get us started, and we send it right back to Tom Gill.
In third place from Fordham University, Quinn McPhail. In second place, from George Washington University, Daniel Choi. Choi. And your champion, with a time of 15:09.61, a freshman from Davidson College, Henry Shoemaker.
Well, when you thought that the Davidson Wildcats were going to get the fastest time, you thought that maybe it was going to be Dylan Felt, but no. It was Henry Shoemaker, the freshman from the Wildcats, who had a seated time of 15:33. He put together a time of 15:09. So he cut off 24 seconds from his seated time coming into it. Maybe the start of a little dynasty for Henry Shoemaker as he finds himself at the top of the podium. Daniel Choi back on that podium for George Washington.